All right, awesome. So we are excited, really excited for this class, AI for Business. And I'm gonna soon just pass this on to Jason, but a little bit of background. This Munch and Learn series is a series that we're doing every month where we try to offer different business topics for businesses across the county. So we really try to offer things that businesses are interested in. And we know that AI is brand new, basically, and we're trying to as a society learn how to use this tool, and then even more so business owners, like how do we use that. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're excited for our speaker, so without further ado, I'm going to pass it to Jason to talk about what is the SBDC, the host of this class. So Jason, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks, Sierra. Again, I just want to reiterate what Sierra said. Thank you for everyone that's joining us today. I see a lot of familiar names and faces. Many of you know and have heard about the Columbia County SBDC. We are the newest center in the state of Oregon. We're the 20th center now, but we're still in our toddler stage. We're only about 2 years old here in Columbia County, but we offer a lot. So for those that don't know, we offer free one-on-one confidential business advising. What that means is you get to have a session with an advisor. You can work through anything from setting up your business to business plans, packaging of loan packaging to access capital, work through your marketing plan strategies. Whether that's you're looking to grow your team, we can help you with all of those things. Very fortunately, we're hosted under the Columbia Economic Team, which also makes us unique to the network because we are the only center in the state that is not affiliated with the college. So there's a QR code right there. You can scan that with your phone. That'll take you directly to our site there where you can sign up for free advising if you haven't already. And as Sierra mentioned earlier, we're really excited for this series, especially AI for Business. We'll introduce our guest speaker here soon, but this series couldn't be made possible without partnership. We have wonderful partnership with our local area Chamber of Commerce, and then our series partner and sponsor, WANA. So WANA Credit Union typically has Megan Fawcett in on these, but she is wearing a couple different hats today, and she's over working the Teddy Bear Picnic for the Imani Center, which is a nonprofit organization that's near and dear to my heart. So we're going to let her slide on this one. I'll just read through some of these things. So WANA does cover Columbia County, but they're also in Clatsop and I believe Washington County. They have 8 branches, over 25,000 members, and they really do have a focus on small business and micro business. So if you have any questions around credit lending or anything like that, you could always send those questions over to us and we'll ensure that we pass you on to Megan Fawcett. So again, thank you, WANA Credit Union, for sponsoring this series and helping make this class today possible.
And then really quick before we jump to the introducing our speaker, do we want to go around the room?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people we have in. If you don't mind, I'll just call on your name and you can introduce yourself with tell us what company you're with or organization that you're representing today, and then we'll go on to introducing our speaker. So we'll start from the top here. Mel.
Hi, my name's Mel. I work with venture commercial real estate.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Andy.
She's with me, but she just got a phone call from our client, so
Oh, okay.
Company.
Yeah, Andy's great. She taught our last class, so I'm really excited to see her here. Brittany.
Hi guys, my name is Brittany. I work with Western Heating and Cooling doing their marketing. Thank you guys so much for having us today and doing this class. Really looking forward to see what you guys have to teach us. I've been in this position for a couple months now, so looking to just grow my skills in general.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. You attend like
Absolutely.
every class, so it's always great to see your face. So
I've got a lot to learn.
yeah. Susan.
Susan Baker, BBE Group, small business consulting in California, Oregon, and Washington. Love that you have these classes, always picking up new information, and love to hear what everybody has to contribute. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. Jessica. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jessica's with Healthy Smells of Scappoose. She just put in the chat there. Simona.
Hi, I do energy healing and hypnosis. My company name is Colors of the Earth, and I'm also chamber member. I haven't been attending lately, but hopefully,
Yeah.
I need to do that. I need to do my part. But I'm more looking forward to learn something about AI because obviously that's a long shot from my line of business. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Well, it says chamber manager, but we know it's Ashlyn. Ashlyn.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn. I'm the communications director over at the Columbia County Chamber of Commerce.
Very cool. Rob chimed in. It's okay, Rob. Thanks for being here. It's okay if you looks like you're in Philadelphia, so thanks for attending. Trina.
Hi, Trina Spang, co-owner of Portrait Homes Northwest, general contractors, custom homes, remodels, and small commercial jobs, what we do. Thank you for doing all these classes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thanks for being here, Trina. Josh.
Good morning. Josh Moe, WorkSource Oregon. I'm a business services rep for Columbia County, so I'm here to support all of your business owners, employers, all of you and your workforce development needs.
Cool. It's always good to see you, Josh. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Nathan.
Hi, I'm with Zim Solutions. I do 3D printing and 3D scanning.
Nice. Thanks for being here, Nathan. Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom from Pacific Stainless, and we're here maybe to utilize AI in training videos, so I want to learn more about that.
Thanks for being here, Tom, and thanks for being at the annual meeting last week, too. We appreciate you. Elliot. It's all right. We can skip over Wella.
Hi, Wella with CET. Just popping in because AI is always changing. So looking to see if I can learn something new.
Thanks, Wella. Terry.
Hi, I'm Terry Hemphill. I'm with Exchange Insurance. I have an office in San Helens as well as Hillsborough, and I'm looking to learn about AI to help me with my busy open enrollment season coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Terry. Jasper. Okay, we'll go over to Sonia.
My name is Sonia England. I own Ascending Optics. We are a commercial photography drone service. And I'm just looking to see if AI, if that's something that we can adopt into how we currently do our business.
Cool. Thanks for being here, Sonia. Did I miss anyone that is able to speak, wants to introduce themselves? All right. Well, we will be monitoring the chat. So if you guys have any questions or intros or anything that you want to add, you can put it there in the chat.
Looks like Elliot raised his hand.
Oh, yeah. Elliot. You might be muted.
Might be trying out the feature.
Yeah,
You can skip ahead. If you have a question, Elliot, feel free to put it in chat or come back in later.
absolutely.
All right, I will throw up that slide again so we can introduce our speaker and dive right in. So today's speaker is Dr. Sean Harry. He's from PCC, which is a Portland Community College, SBDC. If you don't know, mentioned earlier that SBDCs are all across the state and all across the nation. So Oregon has 20, and Dr. Sean is just one of the most talented advisors out there. We're really excited to have him here, speaker, but he could speak more to his experience and how he's qualified to talk about AI. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Sean.
All right, can I share my screen?
Yes, yeah, you should have.
Got it. Okay, well, hi, everybody. As she said, I'm Sean Harry with the Small Business Development Center at Portland Community College, and I've been here about 13 years. So who does this guy think he is? Why does he think he knows anything about AI? I'll just be honest with you. I don't probably know any more than most of you. In fact, the people who created AI can't explain to you how it works. So maybe I just know as much as anyone. I don't know, but I'm gonna share with you what I do know, and I think you'll get something out of it. But why me? Well, I in 1984 I watched the Super Bowl, and the person threw the hammer, and there were all these lemmings, and I said, I don't know what that thing is, but I'm going to go get one. I was in graduate school at the time, and it changed my life, as computers are wont to do. And so I've been kind of geeking out on the computer end of things for a long time, probably before many of you were born. My focus today is on generative AI. And I think Sierra's going to talk to you about some graphic stuff, and but I want to talk about generative AI and how I use it. And I use it with clients, and I use it myself. And actually, over the weekend, I used it with my granddaughter. She's 17 years old, help her write her resume. So it's an amazing tool. If you've never used it, it's really quite interesting. And we'll actually have a chance to do some things with it. My teaching philosophy is I like to share a little bit of knowledge. I like to share a little bit of knowledge, maybe, a brief lecture kind of thing, and then show some examples.
Okay, I
And
will.
then I really like to have you all work on creating some ChatGPT prompts for yourself. I like to ask a lot of questions. I figure that my clients know more than I ever will about their business. I can give advice and counsel from the hundreds of clients that I've worked with, but they're in their business every day, just like all of you are. And so you know a lot more about your business than I do or than we do. But I do have some knowledge. I went to graduate school, got a master's degree in business, and have been working in this field for 15 years, 14, 15 years. So that's how I use generative AI. It attaches close to my teaching and advising philosophy and the techniques that I use. So in today's session, the part that I'm going to talk about is generative AI. AI is it's a very broad catch-all sort of phrase. AI is all around us. If you're using, Siri or any of those, Alexa, you're using AI. my car uses AI. I backed up the other day and I was about to hit something and the car stopped immediately. I'm like, what's going on? And then I looked in the little camera and there was a post right there that I couldn't see otherwise. So the car saw it. I got new hearing aids this morning, and the guy was telling me when I tried them on, he said, "Yeah, they've got this feature that it sends out signals thousands of times a minute, and then AI can tell where the conversation is coming from. And so if someone's over there, it can pick up that, it'll focus on that, and then if this person starts talking, it'll focus on that." So, I mean, AI is everywhere. But today I want to talk about generative AI and primarily ChatGPT, because that's the tool that I use the most. But there are several others out there that work pretty good. I am using a paid version of ChatGPT. It's $20 a month. And for the kind of all the work that I do, I find that it's very helpful. The generative AI, in case you're not aware of how this thing works, so far as we know, is it's been trained on basically everything that is out on the internet, and then lots of other things. In fact, that's one of the challenges with generative AI is, where are they getting this information, and isn't it copywritten, and doesn't it mirror just this group of people who have put it together? What about that group of people? And but it is trained on everything in the internet, and then it has actually started training itself. And you will put in a prompt or ask a question or have it analyze a document, and it will go in there, and just like Siri does on your phone, it will. I said Siri, and my Siri. Just like that thing on your phone does when you're texting, it comes up with a word that you might want to use. That's what generative AI does, but it's also much more sophisticated than anything we have in our phones or on our computers at the moment, unless you're using one of these tools. This information comes from Reuters and McKinsey and Goldman Sachs and University of Pennsylvania. They're all studying, they're trying to figure out, how much is AI, generative AI in particular, going to impact the business world. And you can see that graph goes up significantly. ChatGPT was launched in Q4 of 2022. That's where you see it start to go up. And then it was the fastest adopted piece of software that was ever there. They hit 1 million faster than any other software did. And it has, that's been a year and a half. And the tool has continued to learn more and grow more, and really change, but also really improve. And we'll take a look at some of that today. By show of hands, just you can raise your hand in the thing. How many of you are using ChatGPT or that kind of some kind of generative AI? Just kind of, okay, there's a handful. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all probably could teach this class then, because you may know more than I do. But I will share with you what I do know and how I've used it. This is an example. I was working with a client who runs a media agency, so kind of a PR firm. They do a lot of website design, that kind of thing. And they have grown significantly in a specific market, and they want to enter another market to expand. And so we worked out this prompt. Says here, I want you to help me expand my small business. ask me questions about myself and my business to help me do this. This is one of the things that I think is most helpful about these tools, these generative tools. If you don't know what to ask it, you can have it ask you questions. And it will do that. So it created this list of questions for them. And here in this prompt, I say, keep asking questions until you have a clear idea about who we are and what we do. And then ask me if I'm ready for you to give me more ideas, give me ideas. So then ChatGPT remembers all of this. And Claude and all of those other ones, they remember the conversation and they kind of add on to the conversation. So if you tell it here, don't give me the answers until I say that I've given you enough information. It will do that because it remembers that. And then at some point, I will ask you to give me some expansion ideas. So this is just one way that we have used it with clients. And these clients who used it this way, they said that the results were pretty good. And what they meant by that is it gave them some really good ideas. It was a way to help them brainstorm, to kind of get the ball rolling. And they felt like it was really helpful in that way. One of the advantages of that, of course, is that it saves a tremendous amount of time. A lot of times when we go to brainstorm, we have this. This is a blank sheet of paper, and I have great ideas in the shower, but I don't. As soon as I have a piece of paper in front of me, I'm like, what were those? What was I thinking? So a blank piece of paper is not that helpful for brainstorming. So one of the ways that this tool, generative AI and ChatGPT in particular, it sort of helps you brainstorm by giving you ideas and prompts and asking you questions and that kind of thing. That's one of the ways that you can use this tool. I'm going to pause there and see if there are questions or, because of the fact that you all know this stuff, maybe you have an insight that you want to share about that before we go on to the next part.
There was one question in chat. What is the difference between the free and paid version? And Jason timed in that there's a limit of 15 to 16 prompts every 3 hours. But is there any other differences to know about between free and
Well, the differences that I've noticed is in the paid version, I get a lot more information. The answers, I think, are better in a lot of ways, and they're more complex. And in the free version, can you create images? In the paid version, you can. Like I can tell it to, draw a picture of a cowgirl riding a horse in a thunderstorm, and it will come up with that. I don't know if you can do that in the free version. Other questions?
I wanted to just make a quick comment. You talked about using the chat AI for the resume, and I belong to a lot of HR groups, and there's a lot of discussion out there in the HR world as to the really bad stuff that's happening on resumes and how people are sending information into companies. And it's making HR people go crazy over the information that's coming to them because of the chat and all the AI stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that HR is obviously one place where it's becoming ubiquitous for a lot of people, but also a lot of other businesses and industries are experiencing that same thing. And my statement to that comes from a book that I read by Ethan Mollick, and he said, you know, a lot of times we can get frustrated or be scared or whatever with this tool, but it's here. And if we don't influence how it works, you know, put our time and effort into it, then we leave it up to, you know, the guys who own the companies to do that. And I don't know how you feel about Mark Zuckerberg, but I don't think that he always has my best interest in mind. So
On the other hand, I have to say I love what's happening with AI in the restaurant industry. I'm seeing a lot of good services out there using AI and creating some really fabulous, intelligent use for small business owners that are creating some systems that are making life so much easier for small business owners.
when I helped my granddaughter with her resume, we did not ask ChatGPT to write her resume. I gave her a template. One of the businesses that I owned 20 years ago was a career coaching business. And so I had a template on a resume. And I had her fill out, you know, the pieces like where she works, where she's gone to school, what kind of experience she's had, all of that. And then we fed it into ChatGPT, and we asked ChatGPT, we told ChatGPT that we're working on a resume, and we told it to ask her questions that would help her fill out this resume. And I think that's one of the things that we, particularly as educators, need to do is help people learn how to use these tools in a way that is not over the top, right? And in a way that is useful rather than sensationalism, that kind of thing. And she said, "Oh, Grandpa, it asked me several questions." She's worked for Walmart for, I don't know, 2.5 years. And she said, it asked me, had I ever gotten any, you know, kudos or awards? And I thought about that, and I did. I got these things. And so she was able to put that in her resume. And I think those kinds of things are one of the best uses for these tools.
I would like to also input one other thing that I am so excited about, the multitude of things that we can get from AI, but I also, the caveat to small businesses to not forget that we still need to use outside sources and continue to use our inside resources and not just get rid of people because we think we can get all the answers from AI.
Yeah. That's actually a slide that's coming up, Susan. So you'll be happy to see that. All right, let's move on then to the next little section here. I want to give you a prompt engineering format this comes from this person, Antonis Iliakis, from February 2024. So it's, you know, in the world of AI, February 2024 was eons ago. It's like it's worse than dog years, you know. They say dog years are what, 7 years per person year. In AI, it's weeks. But I do think that this still holds up, and he calls it the PCT-EFT prompting format. And so what he suggests is when you write a prompt, use these to the best of your ability, use these as a guideline for the kind of prompt that you're going to write. So one of the things that's really helpful about these tools is you can ask it to assume a certain persona. In my work, I work with a variety of kinds of business owners, from, you know, restaurant to manufacturing to, things that you can't imagine. There's a guy that I've worked with down in Klamath Falls whose business is making clown noses. And I would have never thought that was a business, but that's what he does. So I ask it, I want you to start out by asking it to assume a certain persona. So you are a small business owner, you own a restaurant with two places, one in Hillsborough and one in St. Helens, right? So, and we have been in business so many years. And then go to context and give it some background for the question that you are asking. So if for instance, you're asking it to help you make a decision or to write something for you, you're going to have to give it some more information. And then you want to ask a task. You identify very clearly, what is the task that you want it to do? From there, you give an exemplar, which is a, you know, when you respond to me, you are this kind of person. You are a bank teller or a bank, you know, loan officer, something like that. And then you can ask it to give you the answer in a format that you need. Maybe you need an outline form, maybe you need it to write a paragraph or a blog post. And then what tone, you know, what tone do you want it to assume? So using this prompting format, I've created a prompt, and then in a minute we're going to run it through ChatGPT and see how well it works. Okay, so we start with the persona. Remember, persona. You are a small company that designs and builds custom bicycles. So we're telling ChatGPT, out of everything you've learned on the internet, go to this piece, go to this section and become this person. So it will kind of hone in on that. And then what's the context? Context is about who the customers are and all that kind of thing. Your customers are high-end consumers of bikes, such as individuals and teams who race bikes both professionally and at an amateur level. They're wealthy individuals who want the very best and for whom price is no object. Winning races is important to your customers, but so is quality or leisure. So I'm giving it some context about what I'm asking it to do. And then we go to the task. Oops. Task is you want to analyze various customer segments so you can develop better products and create compelling marketing copy. So this is what you're asking ChatGPT to do. And then the exemplar is this: create a list of questions that will help me learn more about my customers in an informal style. So I want to know about my customers. And then I go to the format. When you respond to me, you give me a list that will be divided into 3 sections: jobs to be done, pains my customers experience, and gains my customers want to achieve. And I have specifically used that format because it comes from a tool that we use called the value proposition canvas. I don't know if you all have used that, Sarah and Jason, but you know, it's part of the business model canvas. And so I wanted to get very clear, specific about how this relates to that value proposition canvas, which has these 3 sections to it on the customer side. And then the tone of the questions should be simple and straightforward. This is the value proposition canvas. And I wanted to let you know what this tool is because I've asked it to, you know, create a section jobs to be done, pains, and gains. And you'll see that relates to this section where the circle is over here. Customer jobs. What is the job that needs to be done? What are the gains that my customer is trying to create or to make? They want to build a house, or they want to, you know, have dinner or whatever it is. What's the gain that they want? They want to impress their family members because they know something about wine, or whatever the gain is that this customer job relates to. And then the pains, what pains are they experiencing that that sort of keep them from doing it? And then the idea behind this canvas is that this is you right here. Someone says they want to gain this, then you create, you tell them what you do as part of this will help you increase your whatever. This will help you achieve that goal. The same way, pains, you tell them this thing that we have is going to take away this pain. It's going to make it simple for you, or it's going to whatever it is. And so that's why I use this specific format here, because I used it in regard to this value proposition canvas. So you want to see what ChatGPT does with this? No? Yeah. I have ChatGPT open right here. And where are you? Share my screen. So I have put that prompt in here. You're a small company that designs and builds custom bicycles. Your customers high-end consumers, so forth and so on. The task is you want to analyze various customer segments with the exemplar. You'll help me learn more about my customers in an informal style. The format is related to that business value proposition canvas. And the tone is the questions should be simple and straightforward. If you have not used ChatGPT or one of these tools yet, prepare to have your mind blown and see what this tool does. So I push something, and now it's going to do its work. Oh, okay, hold on. I did that too long ago. So we'll do it again. Okay. This is embarrassing. Hold on a second. I'm just going to pull up a new one. Here's another project I've been working on. All right, here we go. Here it's going to give us an answer. So you see, this is one way that I find it to be extremely helpful for my clients, is in helping them design questions that they want to, because I do a lot of marketing work, to design questions that they want to use to conduct some market research. And you could do the same thing on the customer service end. You could ask it to assume a certain persona and create a list of challenges that would come up in a customer service call around the task or whatever. And then you can ask it to help you create answers for that. And there are different programs which also will do a more specific things, like help write a blog post for you or different things like that. When I'm playing with it, here's one of my favorite things to do is to have it write a poem or something. And in this one, I asked it to write a poem, and it's about running a 5K in the style of Hunter S. Thompson. Running the 5K man, it's a frantic dance. She's pounding pavement, lost in a trance. Sweat mingles with the scent of fear, chasing shadows, the finish line near. Let's pause there. Thank you. Let's pause there and see what your thoughts are on this. Or questions or
Sean, I think that a lot of us on the call have used Chat GTP in some shape or form. I think I really enjoy when people start showing the practical use and the prompting and how important that is. I'm just curious if somebody in the room has maybe something they're working on where they could give us a scenario and maybe you could do a prompt or advise
absolutely. Yeah,
on
I'd
what
be
the
happy
prompts
to.
would be. Yeah.
If they don't, I'm gonna have them all write their own prompt. All right, let's write a prompt. Oops. Here is it. It's going to be your turn for a minute. Think about a business goal that you want to have or a challenge that you have, and just you can take a piece of paper and use this format and create a prompt. And then I'm going to ask someone to share theirs, and we'll see what ChatGPT has to say about it. How are we doing on time, Sierra?
We are 15 minutes till 12.
Yeah, I can see that. How much time do you want me longer to go?
We go to 12 to 12:05.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, Ashlyn put in the chat about writing a board meeting agenda.
Oh, good.
So maybe that's an example that we can work on right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know that it's not, very specific because you can't really, I don't even know if, I don't know. Obviously, there's things that AI is not going to know is what is going on in your organization, but it would be something fun to try out.
Let's try it. Who was that was talking?
Ashlyn?
Hi, Ashlyn.
Hi.
Let's can we use yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what's the persona you want the ChatGPT to act as like?
Okay, well, I'm the communications director at the chamber, so I'm in charge of creating the agendas for board meetings. And so I would just need it to act as, me as a director saying what we're going to talk about in the meeting and things that have happened over the past month. And addressing like guests and previous minutes.
Wait, hold on. Go back to what? Give me, can you see what I'm typing?
It just went, oh wait, maybe if I do this. I can't see the bottom part of the screen.
It says you're a communications director for local chamber in charge of creating the agenda for board meetings.
Mm-hmm. And in the agenda, we need to discuss previous minutes as well as guests attending the board meeting. We need to discuss the budget. We also need to talk about proposed ideas.
Ideas for what?
Propose ideas for events, as well as new partnership ideas.
Partnerships with local.
Organizations.
Okay, so that's the context. What's the task you want it to do? You want it to create the agenda for you? You want it to?
Yeah, I wanted to be like a list of the things that we need to talk about with bullet points and times. Times during the meeting of when we're going to talk about those things. So like, you know, it would start at like 3:30 and then it would go to 4:30. I don't know how you would word that.
And how long do you go? You go for an hour, for 90 minutes?
Yeah, the board meeting will go for an hour and a half.
Board meeting will last for, it starts at 3:30 and will last for 60 minutes. Give us time.
Breakdown.
On
Yeah,
what?
or like a template. Or she said breakdown.
Mhm.
For how long to spend on each topic. And the format you want is the list of bullet points and the tone. You want it to sound business formal, business casual? Do you want it to sound like a Robert Frost?
Let's do a business casual tone.
Tone. Okay, let's see what it gives us. I'm going to read this to make sure that I got everything. Your communications director for the local chamber in charge of creating the agenda for board meetings. In the agenda, we need to discuss previous minutes, guests attending, the budget. We also need to talk about proposed ideas for events as well as partnerships with local organizations. Create an agenda with bullet points of the things we need to talk about. We start at 3:30 and the meeting will last for 60 minutes. Give us a template for how long to spend on each topic. Provide the list in a business casual tone.
Sounds good.
Let's see what we come up with. Can you see this?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Let's have a productive meeting and make great strides for our community.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really helpful. One last thing before we go, I do want to give you some warnings, some things to think about, things to remember.
Sean, Josh has his hand raised, if you could.
Oh, hi, Josh. Yeah.
Hello. So I use generative AI in many aspects of my job, believe it or not. And what's really cool about what you're doing right there and what they could do to make that even more helpful, more useful, there's a little attach button by your dialog box where you're typing in there. You can actually attach previous agendas and it doesn't forget what you're doing, so you can go back every month and say, you know, tell it the things that you're working on and create next month's agenda and kind of keep on building in that same chat. And it's going to pull in whatever you had from that old agenda and kind of format it in that similar fashion. So it learns, it remembers, it'll keep on going. And the thing about generative AI is you just have conversations with it. You say, these are the things we're working on. Oh, I don't like that. Can you make this different? Can you add this or take that out? And it'll just keep on reproducing and narrowing it down like that and customizing it. It's pretty cool.
Because it learns it learns what you're doing and it remembers it. So we'll build on that. Yeah, that's a great point, Josh.
Thanks.
All right, some warnings here. First off, they call them hallucinations. I call them flat out lies. You've got to read the outcome. You've got to edit the outcome. You've got to proofread it and check it for accuracy, but you also need to make sure that whatever it is giving you is actually what you want it to say. So I would never just pull something off of ChatGPT and put it into a document or into a blog post or anything like that without going through it and editing it. If it gives you links, which I've asked it to give me links to websites that are similar, so forth and so on, check those links. Make sure that it's not hallucinating or lying to you. One of the things that I really believe about, and oh, Susan, go ahead. You're still muted. Susan, you're muted. I see your hands raised, but you're muted.
I'm sorry, forgot I
Okay.
was muted. I see a lot of small business owners, they'll ask an employment law question or other kinds of law questions, and they won't verify or trust what site they got it from. So please, please, please always check multiple sources. Make sure that you're getting it from a trusted source.
Yes.
Because I've seen people get into a lot of trouble using untrusted sources because, oh, the internet told me,
Yeah.
I got the answer.
Yeah.
I typed it in, AI gave it to me. Well, yes and no.
Yeah, it's like Abraham Lincoln once said that anything on the internet should be tested first, right? Abraham Lincoln said that. That's a joke. All right. So I do believe that any technology that you're using, I believe it must be tied to your strategic business goals. So you're not just using it, well, unless you're using it to, write a funny poem or something like that. But you're not just using it just because you're using it. You're using it because there is a business case for it connected to your goals. I would also encourage you, if you're not using the AI, but I think a lot of you are, but to start small and to use it to do something like review your website or your newsletter content or proofread or something like that. And then train your team in the way that you want them to use it. And as I've said before, it's here. We might as well learn how to use it and embrace it. I will open the floor for questions, or Sierra, if you want to share your part.
Yeah,
Tom,
questions would be great.
question?
Josh.
Yeah, I just what I often tell people when I'm teaching them about how to use ChatGPT and whatnot is follow the Reddit rule. If you don't want to read it out on Reddit, don't put it in ChatGPT. It is a third-party application. All of this information goes someplace else and gets processed in somebody else's servers. So don't put confidential or restricted information in there.
Do not put confidential information in there. Yeah. Tom, you had a question or a thought?
Yeah, I just wanted to find out if there's classes that you would recommend if I have some people that are currently enrolled at PCC or other places. Is there some, and maybe somebody else in the group might recommend something. Is there a good class that I could recommend to my train the trainers that I wanted to set up?
And I'll give these slides to Sierra. The places that I've found the best, the really most helpful information would be like on Coursera. I go there, and these are free classes. But this gentleman, Dr. Jules White, is a professor of computer science at Vanderbilt University. And he's got several classes in there, little curriculum on how to use these tools. And he's actually even talked to some business owners who see some potential for these tools in their business. So you might look at that or go to some of those. I'm particular to Jules White, but there are others on there as well. And I figure if somebody is a professor at Vanderbilt, that's a pretty solid recommendation, right?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
And this book by Ethan Mollick I found to be very helpful. Not about the specifics of how to use any particular tool, but the concept around it. In fact, he says in it a couple of times, by the time you read this, many of the things I'm saying will be outdated, but the concepts behind it will be helpful. He also has a blog you can subscribe to. Elliot?
Yeah, sorry I couldn't unmute before. The question that I have is that we've been talking about Chat GPT, and I imagine I'd go onto the web and look under AI. I'll get a bunch of different listings. Is there another AI which you would recommend other than GPT for using as a resource?
Well, the other one that I have dabbled in, well, there's two that I've dabbled in. One is Claude. I think that one is by Google. Is that a Google one? And then the other one is Perplexity. So those are two tools that I've used just a little bit. But so I just kind of stick with ChatGPT because I know how to use it. Yeah, Facebook has an AI, Canva. I'm sure that Apple is going to be coming out with some super duper AI here before too long. Sarah?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that Google's AI is called Gemini, used to be called Bard. And that's very similar to ChatGPT.
Gemini, okay. Claude must be Microsoft.
I just want to make a quick comment. I'm probably one of the oldest ones in the group, and I started out on an IBM PC Junior. And I have to tell you, I just love all the things that we have available to us today. And it's just fabulous for all of us to get together and share our experiences and to continue to grow with everything that is available to us. And I appreciate all that you share with us and keep becoming available to us to learn. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cool. Any other questions for Sean?
I just want to point out that Josh did put a link in the chat there for some LinkedIn learning. I've taken some Coursera courses, as you mentioned, Sean, which have been great. LinkedIn Learning actually has some really great options as well. So if you're looking to sort of hone in skills or something a little more specific, both of those places you can find some really good courses.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a moving target, right? So things are changing all the time. Share with each other knowledge that you gain, because I think that's going to be the best way that we can actually find a way to utilize this. Terry, you asked about Poe.com. My experience with Poe is that it is more of a conversation. Like I want to have a conversation with a friend, and it kind of talks back to me. I asked it to do some research for me, and this was early on. This was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, so it might have changed. But I asked it to do some research. It was like, oh, that's boring. Let's talk about the Blazers or something like that. Like, okay, this is not what I wanted. And then it also has a voice, and my wife was in the other room and she's like, that's too creepy. You're having a conversation with a computer. There's a thing on the internet where they have two of those, they have phones and they have two AIs like Poe talking to each other. It's pretty funny. All right, well, thank you for having me. I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Sean. So Sean will still be on this call for now that we're jumping into the Canva part of the presentation and some of the tools that you can use there. So if you continue to have questions or they pop up, feel free to shoot them in the chat and we might have some Q&A time in the end. But we are now going to jump to more of the imagery side and the AI tools used for that. And so I'm going to screen share my screen to show you what is specific with Canva, because Canva is one of the most commonly used graphic design softwares out there for people. I live and breathe Canva, so kind of excited to show folks what it's up to.
Sarah, I'm gonna log off and thank
Okay.
you for having me.
Oh yeah, no worries then, John. We'll have a contact information if anyone wants to contact him.
You've got the slides.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, so just a little bit about myself. So I grew up in Clatskanie and went off to Oregon State University and came back and started a career in economic development with the Columbia Economic Team. Began as the director of Keep It Local Columbia County about 3 years ago. And since then, I've been doing a lot of marketing with the program to promote local businesses and local commerce. And in that marketing, I have continued to learn more and more, and all the AI coming out, and especially since I use Canva so much, I constantly use the AI tools now on Canva. So that is a little of my experience in the background, and I'm kind of excited to show folks the tools there. So a little bit about Canva. If you are unfamiliar with this tool, Canva is a graphic design platform that provides tools for creating social media graphics, videos and reels. You can create that there. Flyers, billboards, signs, what have you. I constantly make things for like A-frame signs or posters when we do our holiday campaign. So it can design all those different kinds of graphics. In fact, the Columbia Economic Team, we just released our annual report, and that was all designed on Canva. You can use it for basically anything that you'd like to look kind of pretty. Is a great way to use Canva. And on top of that, you can do presentations. You can, instead of doing Google Slides or Microsoft presentation, Canva can do that. There's a lot of different ways to use Canva overall. And then on top of that, you can use the AI tools to enhance it. So the queen of A-frames. Shameless plug, but if you go to the county fair right now, there are A-frames hidden all across the county fair that you can do a scavenger hunt. So yes, I am the queen of A-frames. So pricing options. So Canva is free, but it has limited tools and limited AI tools. So you can't do all the features that it offers on the free plan, but it's a great way to get started, and you can do most of the things that you want to do with a free. But if you upgrade to Pro, the pricing model there is $15 a month or $120 a year per person. Or if you have a team, they define a team as 3 people or more, and that amounts to about $10 a month or $100 a year. And so those are the pricing plans. I think it's worth the upgrade, and especially if you're a nonprofit, you can get the Pro plan team for free. So that's if any of you guys volunteer on boards or are part of organizations. I know you are, Sheila. So
yeah, thank you.
These are options. So just wanted to share that with folks because I know pricing is always a question with these kinds of tools. So ways that you can use Canva, social media posts, particularly, I think Canva is a great way to build up your brand identity. I constantly see businesses will throw up pictures of like maybe their product or something that they're doing just randomly, willy-nilly, but they don't have a consistent look or a feel. And so Canva is a great way to design that look, the feel, the editing. And so that's a great way to use it. social media newsletter headers, so you can change the top of your newsletters, and even more graphics that you want to put in your newsletters. Your email signature, maybe instead of just writing text, you can have an image of some kind. You can design that there. You can also create beautiful documents, reports, really any kind of like form. For Keep It Local, since we're nonprofit, our sponsorships forms are designed with Canva, or the annual report that we did for the Columbia Economic Team was designed with Canva. Or when I'm putting together an About Us page or a brochure, you can do all those things with Canva. Facebook cover photo is another thing you can design. Flyers, signs, billboards, those are more. And just really quick, any examples in the room of more things that aren't on this list that people have used Canva for? Cool. I made a good list then. Okay. So this is the newest development with Canva. They released it a few months ago, and it's called Magic Studio, and it's their version of AI and how to use it. And so there are specifically 6 different things that you can do with the Magic Studio. There's text to image, text to video, which is really new, text to graphics, advanced photo editing, writing, and then video editing are the different Canva tools that you can use for AI. These ones right here are specifically called like the magic design, I think. We'll see it when we're in there. And then the rest of these are tools that you can do directly on the images or on the captions or with the video features. So let's dive in, because I think showing instead of telling is more fun. So text to image. So how you can do that, I'm gonna move my Zoom control so I can see this better. So to find all these AI tools, this is what Canva looks like. And I'm just going to really quickly show people the basic Canva. So Canva over here is where you can see templates that you can have, where you can pull out, say, maybe you want to write a report or a social media post. It can, actually, let's do a customer review. Maybe you want to make a customer review post. You got a quote from a client, and you really want to show that off. You can have these templates here. Elements is where you can find things like the shapes. You could type the shapes in, or you can look up for pictures or graphics. And so those are all things that you can find here. So if I wanted a graphic of a pig, I can type pig, hit graphics, find that there, find photos of a pig. When you're on the free plan, everything is like free to you. When you're on the pro plan, these are all things that you can just use. When you're on the free plan, you don't get as much content. Videos of pigs. That's how that works. This is where you put in text. So if you click on this, it's now adding the text to the page. If you have the pro plan, you could put in your brand. And then with AI, you can also put in your brand voice. And so it will start writing in the voice of your brand. So for the Columbia Economic Team, we just put together a tourism brand. So Believable has done it where we now have like the tone, our sense of adventure, that laid back kind of wandering feel. We put that tone into here, so then when we ask it to write things, it's going to make suggestions in that tone. So that's where you can build out your brand and add your logos, add your color palette. Uploads is where you upload your own content to throw in, so pictures, images, audio. You can draw projects you're working on, and then other stuff. So let me show you how to use the AI parts of the tools now that I've given you a really quick and dirty version of like, what is Canva? So text to image, where you can find that is Magic Media. So you scroll down on this left-hand side and you find Magic Media, and you would go over to images. And I'm just going to show you some examples. So maybe we're a donut business and we want to do a watercolor image of a donut inside of a small business display. So where you do that is you paste whatever your image idea is. More specific, the more it's going to be written that style. So that's why I was specifically saying watercolor and a donut inside of display case. So when you hit generate image, it's going to do 4 options, and most imaging software, so Canva's not the only one, and I'll show that slide later where there's other options, but most imaging softwares are going to give you 4 options, and you can look through those ones and be like, yeah, that one seems like the one I really want, and other ones will be. So here are the 4 options. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit that it gave. Which is pretty nice. They did a good job on the donuts. And then you just click on it and it'll show up on the design that you're working on over here. This is your workspace, by the way. So if you're putting together some caption or an image, this is your workspace before you're putting it together. Let's try another one. So still going off the idea of we're a donut shop. Maybe we want to do something more funky, like a realistic photo-like image of astronauts inside of a spaceship holding donuts. Now, particularly with imaging, when it comes to imaging content, it's going to have its own generic style. So if I would have just asked astronauts with donuts, it's going to probably have its own generic. But you can get more specific again. So watercolor, or a photo-like image, or maybe you want to have something be like that old pixel style graphic. You can make any of those kinds. And so really any kind of look and style is what you need to prompt it to do. Otherwise, it'll just spit out something random. Jason, do you want to add?
Oh, I just had a question. Are you able to add real likeness in Canva? So say your business owner and your partner, you want them as the astronauts. Are you able to do that in Canva, or is that not a capability yet?
I don't think so yet, but I'm going to show a tool later that you might be able to Jimmy rig it for that. Yep. So here are some examples of some donuts, and particularly with people. So I want to also show everybody the limitations of Canva and all imaging softwares, honestly. So I'm going to really quickly copy that and set this as the background. So sorry to disturb folks, but these are some of the limits of Canvas, but particularly with people. So you'll oftentimes see with any imaging processing software, when it comes to humans, you have some funky things sometimes going on with their eyes, and it looks a little disturbing. You know, you might be able to get away with it sometimes. Other times you'll need to keep recycling it. But here are just some more examples of that prompt where, yeah, so again, humans are a little harder for the software. And there's a thing called the uncanny valley, I believe is what it's called. It's the whole idea is like, we like imagery and art to a certain point where it feels like unreal. So think of Disney movies, like it's okay that they don't look actually like lifelike, but then once you get to that weird section where it's between really realistic and that cartoony or kind of unrealistic, that's called the uncanny valley. And that's where people are like, that looks disturbing. So AI oftentimes generates things in that valley. And so that's one of the limitations of the program. Oh, this was a prompt I was trying to do for video, but it didn't work. Okay, next tool that it can do is text to graphic. So you can do that in the same area here, the magic media, and then under graphics, you can type your text. So since this was a little slower, I already pre-created these. So let's pretend we're an insurance company. Maybe I want a graphic of a person standing under a downpour of rain with too small of an umbrella, because my caption's going to say, need better coverage, we've got you covered with our umbrella insurance. And so these are the graphics that it created when I put in this prompt right here. So you can see a little bit of funky one right there. Maybe you can get, like, we have a better umbrella insurance than other insurance companies. I don't know. But these are some of the graphics that it can do as well in there. And that's, again, right here. Another spot, I asked it, a treasure chest filled with clothes, shoes, and accessories for like a boutique. And so the caption is, discover a treasure trove of new clothes in our shop. And here are the different images and graphics it created. What I noticed when I was doing these graphics is that the style, you can tell it's pretty similar. And when I asked it to do something like a watercolor water chest or an oil painted one, it didn't do that. So I don't think the graphic tool on Canva would do as much of that, unless someone else has figured that out. But I don't think it's going to do that unless you choose these styles right here. And I think that's the limit. So we actually might have some time. Well, no, I'll come back to it if we have time so we can try out that tool. And then there is text to video. So this is one of the newest things that's happening with AI in general. And it's still kind of like everything with AI is experimental, but this one is particularly experimental and still being worked on because again, so for AI is taking from the internet and already existing content and trying to make it into whatever you're asking it to do. So if you're asking it to do a T-Rex flying in an airplane, shooting out glitter, like that's probably not a real life picture that someone has made somewhere. So AI is really limited. It's hard for it to be able to rate that yet. So that is my caveat when it comes to video. But here's a prompt example that I did. So again, the place to do it is Magic Media. And then here on videos, we go back and type it right here. So the prompt I asked it was a donut running down a hill of flowers. I was like, maybe a donut shop was going to have like a floral edition of donuts. And as you can see with this video, this is what it turned out to look like. So it's just like a donut slowly shifting on grass, which shows a little bit of the limitations, but it is a really nice picture if you want to have the background to be like, we just launched our spring collection of donuts. You know, that's a different way you could use this asset. Jason?
Yeah, can you hit play again?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was so subtle I couldn't see it on my end at first, but
Yeah, I was like imagining a giant donut that would run down a hill. It didn't do that. And with enough prompting, you might be able to get sometimes that, but I wanted to show another example where it didn't work for me. So I was trying to think like maybe a construction business is going to make an ad that's saying we don't cut corners. And so their video would be like somebody taking a saw to a corner and being like, no, we don't do that. So I tried for like about an hour and a half trying to get just one video where a construction worker was like destroying a corner of a wall with a saw, with an axe, with something. And it wasn't able to do that yet. And again, I think it's because there's not very many videos out on the internet of people destroying corners of a wall with some kind of tool. So this is what it ended up doing. And I think it's just a good example that shows like it's still in development, this tool. I mean, it looks magic. Like, ooh, what's that thing he's shoving through a wall? And then I did this one while we were having our previous class because I know there was like a yoga business in the room. So I was like, well, what happens if a yoga business wanted to do German shepherds doing yoga on a paddleboard floating on a lake? And this one was the first try, and I felt like it actually did pretty good. So they're just floating there. So there is another tool you can do with AI. On top of that, this is what I use most commonly is the editing tools that you can do with images. So there are different ways that you can do it. And I'm going to show Magic Grab and Background Remover. So any image that you put in, so this is the picture of the Columbia County Fair and Rodeo cow that they're using all across their social media. So I took this picture and I was like, okay, I want to get this cow away from this picture and take it off. So how can I do that? There are two different approaches and it depends really what you're going for in your designing, but you can either do Magic Grab or Background Remover. So how Background Removers is you just click it and then it removes the background. So you guys hopefully saw that. So brought it back. Now the background's removed. And I can go back, hopefully. Yeah, perfect. So that's Background Remover, and it's gonna auto focus on whatever your main subject is and get rid of the rest. So even though this is a complicated background and there's a lot of stuff, it's amazing how it can sense that. And still, despite all these like wood brown colors being right next to this brown cow, it was able to detect that. And I think that's kind of the magic of AI. Another way you can use it is the Magic Grab. So you click Magic Grab on the side window. Again, how you find that is you click on the image, you go here on these options that I'll show you in Magic Grab. And there are two ways to do this. So you can do the brush tool. So maybe you're trying to like specifically brush on something, like maybe I only want this pale, or I can click. And so in this case, it's easier to click, and I would just click on this cow. And then it outlines in purple this shape, and then I'm gonna hit grab. Now it is grabbing the cow or the bull. And then boom, I have.
Oh, wow.
Which is really cool. And so then maybe if in this image, if I wanted to put some text and that cow was sitting right in the center, well, now I can move them to the side and be like, okay, here's where I'm going to put the text or other things like that. So that is a grab tool. And then if you notice, it actually auto AI generated the background. So technically there was no background there. Now it has made that background, which again shows like how cool the tool is. It's really amazing. So that is Magic Grab and Background Remover. And then this is the example I used it. So I mentioned we're doing a scavenger hunt with the county fair this week. So in the flyer that we did, this is where I played around with the tool. I just wanted to show a practical example use case, and also for you guys to all see that you can create flyers or whatever you like to do with Canva. Magic Eraser is another tool. So same place that you can find it, you go over here and you click on this, and then you click Magic Eraser in the center. And then you can click on whatever you want to erase. So in this picture, poor Paul, this chandelier is like trying to hit his head. So the way that we can get rid of that is we can either brush specifically on top of this chandelier and be like, okay, we're going to get rid of that and hit erase. And then it will start erasing that. The other option is the click, where you click on a specific object in there. And so it looks pretty good. It looks like it has a little black line right there. So sometimes that's what you'll end up having. I'm going to click that. The other option is click. So I can click on certain things. If I wanted to erase somebody like Jason, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Actually, we'll just show that so that you can kind of see the background too. So bye, Jason. Take you out of the photo. So when you click erase, you just click on the object and then it's going to start auto generating that background. And the simpler the image, and this is why one of the reasons why I specifically chose this picture is that, you know, it's going to be a little trickier the more complicated that background is, because it's trying to create a background. So you can see it's a little off right here. They're pretty good here. But that's where that's going to be limited. But the simpler the picture is, if it's just like a sky background or trees or anything like that, it tends to be even better. But now Jason's out of this picture, so I just wanted to do that. Quick reset. So that is the Magic Eraser tool, really handy when you have something in an image that you're like, oh, I didn't mean to clip that boom mic, or I didn't mean to put in, or there's that like child running in the middle of this picture, but it's the perfect picture. You know, those are ways that you could use it. Magic Expand is another tool. So over here on the side, you can go over to Magic Expand and you click that. And you can either have it automatically lock onto the dimensions of the page that you're editing, or you can do freeform. So freeform, you could just move this around and it's going to auto generate an image in these filler sections. So let's just do the whole page. So maybe we wanted to do like a biking advertisement for our business, and just show like adventure is out there. So we set that parameter where you want and then hit Magic Expand. And very similarly to the imaging software is when you're doing text to image, it gives you options on this tool. I use this one constantly when there's pictures that I'm like, this is the perfect picture, but I need it to be formatted a little bit different so I can get a new space. So looks like it started creating some people jumping in the air. So that's why it's nice. It gives you options, but here's a pretty good one. You can ask it. So now the image has been expanded. And Magic Edit. Oh, I'm starting to run out of time. Okay, we're going fast. So edit image, Magic Edit. This is where you can do changing things. So maybe I want to change this softball to a baseball. Change to a baseball. And it will do that for us. And then when Jason was asking earlier, could we have like one of my teammates look like an astronaut? You could have a picture of one of your teammates and like click on them and say like put them in an astronaut suit. I will say this is the one tool of Canva that I think is the most limited and doesn't always work. This is a really simple picture, so it's very easy for it to create a baseball. But it doesn't always do that with more complicated pictures. But now this is a picture of a baseball. And then magic writing. So just like ChatGPT, AI has that as well. So you just click on that text, you hit magic write, and then you can have it rewrite it into a style, custom prompt it. So if we just wanted to change this, come into our store this Labor Day for a weekend and snack a whopping 50% off is what it changed. A little more fun tone than originally it's saying, it's Labor Day weekend, we have a sale. So those are all tools in Canva that you can use. And then I want to show video. So this is, again, doing that scavenger hunt. I did a video to promote it. And the tools here that you can do with it is you can hit edit video and take highlights. So maybe you had like a 30-minute long video and you just want to get the best like bits and pieces of advice. You can hit highlights here and it will start, well, it didn't want to work this time, but it was working earlier. Probably because I have to refresh. But it will pull out those key moments of your video. Additionally, they have a tool called Generate Videos Instantly. So maybe you have like 4 different videos and you want to put it all into one. You can try out this tool here, but it's a little bit longer to do. So I just want to let people know that's there as an option. So those are Canva tools. Other AI imaging tools include Image Creator by Software Design, DALL-E 3 by OpenAI, Imagen from Google AI, ChatGPT now has one too, Dream Studio. Don't have time for suggestions, so I'm going to jump to the next. And then I really quickly wanted to show that like the future with AI is moving more and more towards video. We're probably going to start seeing more movies and TV shows and using these kinds of tools. Already, they probably use it for animations. And I just wanted to inspire you guys with some magic. But these are some examples of videos. This is experimental technology currently with AI, but these are some prompts of videos that have been made. So a woman walking down the street, you can kind of see the prompts down here. This one I think is really cool, is mammoths running on snow, all AI prompted. So the prompt here was, several giant woolly mammoths approached, treading through a snowy meadow. Their long woolly fur lightly blows in the wind as they walk. Snow-covered trees and dramatic snow caps the mountains in the distance. Mid-afternoon, light and wispy. Another AI. This is the future. We're going to start seeing these tools become more and more public for us to be using these more advanced video tools. This one I also thought was cool, is supposed to show the old west of California. They purposely make it look a little like unfocused. So just very fun. I could look at all this all day. So there's some AI video coming up. So next month's class is going to be around HR for business. We're getting the details all squared away, and then we'll be able to release that on Eventbrite. And so if you'd like to learn more about HR, the trends happening, the legal considerations you need to have, how to even hire, fire, manage teams, all those types of things, come to our HR class. And that is a quick speed run end of the class. I'm going to turn off recording and then leave it open for questions if people have more questions about Canva or anything else.